I'm here in Birmingham, Alabama, in front of God's divine blessing upon the American people. Cracker Barrel Old Country Store. I just moved back into my Ford Econoline E150 van. And these glorified gift shop diarrhea factories are pretty much the safest place for me to sleep on a regular basis all across the country. Over the next 6 months, I'm going to be traversing the fucked up, dysfunctional, beautiful, politically tense powder keg of the United States of America. I'm going to be interviewing people about whether or not they think they can find common ground with their opposing political sides. I'm going to be interviewing comedians. I'm going to be doing comedy shows. And overall, I'm just going to be having a good old fun time, being myself and having fun. You guys should fucking buckle up, I guess. I don't know. Holy shit, there's a fucking train. I'm here at UAB, University of Alabama, Birmingham. And today I'm going to ask some college kids if they think they can find common ground with opposing political sides, what they think the future of the United States looks like, how they think social media plays into forming political opinions, and yeah. Even though I'm a stand-up comedian and all that shit, I still have like severe social anxiety. And so this type of shit just is like exposure therapy. Dude. Damn, dude. I've been out here for like an hour and a half. Oh, this kid looks like he might talk to me. Oh, fuck. Holy shit. What's your name?
Ali.
Ollie?
Yes, sir.
Nice, hell yeah.
What's yours?
Jacob.
Jacob. Nice to meet you, man.
Nice to meet you. There's a lot of division within the United States now. So you said earlier, you do think that finding common ground is possible?
Yeah. There's always something, because in the end of the day, we are human. There's always something that we all want, which is success, wealth, health. There's always something that we can be in the middle. Maybe gun control, abortion, people just never will, because there is no middle. It's either a yes or a no. Also put America aside, I'm talking about the world. You can meet in the middle with a lot of things, whether that's religion, whether that's political, whether that's financial. You can always meet in the middle.
Yeah.
Because in the end of the day, we are just bones, that we're all going to be underground. So that's just what that's why I was giving you the thumbs up before you even put the camera up, because we all should just wish well for each other. And that's a common ground in my head. Just wishing well.
What role do you think that social media plays in public discourse?
Everything. It controls us. It controls our brain completely. It controls the way I look at you. It controls the way you look at me. Even from a distance, if you look at me, oh, this guy has a beard, I'm guessing he is X, Y, and Z. You know what I mean? It controls everything. We're so jealous of everyone and everything around us simply because of what we see online. Yeah. We can't make choices for ourselves anymore, because if you think this way, oh, this group might hate me. If I think this way, that group might hate me. Or you open your phone, you search it up, it's not really inclined to what you believe in, so you're starting to question yourself. You don't even believe yourself anymore. Yeah. So social media controls us. Yeah. It really does. It's the first thing you look at when you wake up, it's the last thing you look at before you sleep. You're bored, you look at it. You're angry, you look at it. So every decision you make is kind of like, translated through social media, is what I believe.
What do you think that the United States is going to look like in 10 or 20 years?
I don't know.
Really?
I really don't know. Yeah. Honestly, I don't.
Are you optimistic, pessimistic?
I'm optimistic. I always try to aim to be optimistic, because I live here. I'm a citizen of this country. Obviously, this is my home. I have loved ones here, I have family here. So if I'm thinking negatively, then what's the point of me being here? Or what's the point of even thinking about the next 10 years if I'm thinking about the negativity now? I just hope it's something good for everybody. Left, right, middle, up, down, whatever it is. But to answer that again, what is it again?
Is finding common ground possible?
Yes, a million yeses. A million yeses. And I hope the world finds some more peace. I really do.
Awesome. Any final words, last thoughts?
Man, I appreciate you, and good luck doing your thing, and I hope you succeed too, I hope you find your American dream.
Thanks, dude.
All right, brother.
So I kind of only got one interview. I should probably go to college campuses when it's not summertime. That was my bad. I didn't really take that into account. Shout out to Ali, the student that I interviewed. That was really cool. And I'm going to go to the Civil Rights Institute and see if I can talk to more people. In my previous video, I said that I felt like the United States might reach a political breaking point soon leading up to the 2024 election, but after visiting the Civil Rights Institute and learning more in depth about the events that happened in the 1950s and 60s in Birmingham, it really resonated with me that throughout its history, the United States has been much more fractured politically and culturally, and not only remained intact, but actually progressed for the better. The city was literally known as Birmingham because of the acts of domestic terrorism that happened against the African American community during their fight for equal rights. How do you find common ground with a person when your fundamental viewpoints on how society should be structured are not compatible with one another? Or when the other side views you as fundamentally inferior? These are questions that I'm still exploring. Although finding common ground is integral to communication and progress towards a better future, it's a fine line to walk, and there are certain societal issues that people have no choice but to take a firm stance on. And what are your names?
My name is John.
John?
Jacob.
Jacob. Oh, that's my name. Yeah. And so you guys are Danish, you said?
Yeah.
And then you live in Tennessee?
Yes.
That's awesome. What do you think that the United States is going to look like in 10, 20 years?
I'm more optimistic than the pessimistic headlines that, if you follow cable news and social media, it seems to be very dystopic. But, just being here today, there are huge issues, but there's also a lot of progress that's been made. And however imperfectly the sort of American founding ideals have been implemented, I still think they have resonance, and I still think that they provide the best possible framework for human flourishing and coexistence among people who are very different in many ways. So it's probably going to be a bumpy ride, and I don't think there's any utopian endpoint. But I'm hopeful that American democracy will persevere and reinvent itself, and I think that in many ways this country is very well placed to do that and overcome its challenges. It's more resilient than I think the most pessimistic and skeptic people give it credit for.
I agree very much that I'm not a pessimist for the U.S. going forward. I think in 10 years it'll look much like it looks now. Which if I should say one thing, I think that is a very big challenge for the U.S. system in regards to politics. I think the two-party system has been a very progressive system, because every 10 year or 8 year or whatever, you change the whole kind of group, and then you go forward and you have the powers. You can actually do a lot of stuff. But I think this kind of two-party system has become also a hindering, because it's become a power struggle between two parties who are maybe not that ideological anymore, but more kind of seeking the power. So I think that's a challenge going forward. But the Constitution of the U.S. and the notion of the American dream is very strong factors. So I'm pretty positive for the U.S.
And do you think that finding common ground between opposing political sides is possible?
I just watched Civil War. I don't believe that that's the path America is heading down. There's a big difference between calling someone something ugly on social media and shooting them with an AR-15. And also I have to say, just having lived in Tennessee for about a year now, having traveled 30 states or so, I get the sense that most, and I hate the term ordinary American, because what does that mean in a country as big and diverse as this, but most people are not as sucked into the whole culture war drama that plays such a big part in the media. I think that a lot of people actually put a premium on getting along, being civil, being polite, and that people can actually have conversations with people even though they don't vote the same. Of course, you have hardcore partisans on each side who's for whom sort of political tribalism is a hardcore delineation, sort of a line that they won't be able to cross. But my sense is that does not represent most ordinary Americans, and that they don't necessarily define themselves first and foremost as Democrats or Republicans. There's a lot of nuance, and lots of people can hold views that you, on one issue, that you might associate more with being liberal on one point and more conservative on others, and I think that's quite healthy. So I think we need more of those kind of dialogues and more heterodox thinking where you don't get pigeonholed into being a liberal or a conservative.
What role do you think that social media plays in terms of political rhetoric between parties?
So as you can see, I'm a big believer in free speech. So I think ultimately, I think when you sort of weigh the harms and costs of social media, I still think that social media is a net benefit. You would not be able to do what you're doing now unless you could, in the age of before social media, unless you could, convince some big wig institutional gatekeeper to put, to go ahead. So that, you're a part of how a civil society can use social media for good. But of course, there's also, the polarization that we see goes on there.
I can add that that social media has been a democratization of the dialogue and the public discourse, and obviously that enables you to publish your stuff, but it also enables fringe conspiracy theorists to come together. Maybe they were living apart, never met each other, now they can find each other. So everything has a positive side and a negative side. But in general, I'm very positive. I think, or optimistic. I think social media is enabling people like you to do better for the world.
Awesome. Great. Well, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. I also did a couple of comedy shows in Birmingham, and I met Eugene Henry Jr. He's a local experienced comic, and he said that one of his main goals in Birmingham is to find common ground by integrating the black and the white comedy scenes together. Damn, bro, you're dressing nice.
Mother's Day, I gotta do something for you. How you doing?
What up, bro?
Appreciate you, Doc.
Yeah, of course, dog.
Introduce you to my folks, man.
You were talking about before COVID, based on your perception, there was a separate black scene and a separate white scene?
Yeah, it still is in Birmingham. When I started comedy years ago, 15 years ago, it was white comedy room, and it wasn't a black comedy room. You know what I'm saying? So I started one, and you might get 2 white comedians to come out, and but there was on Monday. The white room was on Monday and Tuesday, and one Tuesday, the host gave the show to a black guy. So all the white comedians came to the show that Tuesday, and they found out that the black guy was hosting, and never came back.
Wow.
But it's the same place that we go. We went every Monday and Tuesday.
Uh-huh.
But for some reason, once the black host came, no more. But I don't know. I know comedy is very competitive, but if we work together correctly, we can share the people.
Yeah.
We can share the people.
Do you think that the comedians didn't come back because they thought that it would turn into a black room?
As you can see last night, I had a very white black room. Mm-hmm. So if the right people come, the color ain't gonna matter. It's gonna be a comedy show.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We made it a white room and a black room.
Right.
And I just noticed it. But I want to do comedy. When I have a real crowd that I can engage with and make them laugh, then it opened the door for everybody to have a good time. I don't know if you're saying it was a vibe last night.
Yeah. What gives you the motivation to blend the black and the white comedy scene?
Because I want to know, I won't say the funniest, I want to see how funny I am for real. If you limit who you play with, then you might think you're good until you go somewhere else. I want to play ball with everybody.
Yeah.
I want to, getting the black comedians and the white comedians together, it do something for each other's thought process. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, the white comedians show the black comedians how far they can take a joke, and the black comedians show the white comedians how far not to take a joke. You know, so it's an even swap. There's 2 things gonna fix racism, and that's comedy and weed.
Overall, Birmingham was fucking sick. It's a city that has a deep history of conflict and division that has persevered and overcome its challenges. And they have a pretty cool Vulcan statue made of pig iron that looks over the city, which is dope. Now off to test the pulse of the American public in Vicksburg, Mississippi, which is a location of one of the most important battles during the American Civil War.